Good afternoon. It's me, Pierce.
And it's me, Jacob.
We're your hosts. You know that. Welcome back to Clone Wars Quickie. We're on episode 6 of Clone Wars Quickie.
Yeah, since the last time, it's been a week. And it's been a big week.
An interesting week.
For sure. Started classes up again, this time online only. That's why we're in my basement.
You're going to see a lot of different sceneries throughout, I feel like, the rest of this year until we get our apartment.
And even then, you'll see another scenery.
Well, after we get the apartment, we're probably going to stick to one scenery from that.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed we'll stick to one.
Don't jinx us. Don't jinx us.
I know, but we'll hopefully have it set up there. But until then, you're going to see us in lots of various different locations. My basement.
My basement. Other people's basements.
Who knows?
Random people's basements. We're just going to walk into basements and be like, hey, you mind if we record a pod? That's a lie, but it would be funny.
That could be our bit. We're like the little basement connoisseurs.
Coinocessors. I think is how it's pronounced. But,
it's like a basement crawl, you know? We're just hitting every basement in our area.
Okay. Anyway. Yeah, so you can't tell from, if you pay attention to the channel at all, we didn't have a normal podcast last week because of coronavirus. So just a warning. If maybe we don't have an episode next week for whatever reason.
I think we will.
I think we will, but if we don't, you guys know why. Because you listen to this one.
Thank you, by the way, to the 3 listeners to this podcast. This series. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. I want to take a step back and say, this podcast is getting significantly lower views. And you might be thinking, if you were a sensible person, well, this was a bad idea. Let's stop. Well, we're not going to do that because we're not really sensible. And this is something we like to talk about. And if we can, even just a dedicated listener base of 3 or 4,
we're one. We're one.
Yeah. No, but thank you guys so much for actually tuning into this series. It really means a lot.
It really does. Thank you for listening to the Clone Wars Quickie. So without further ado, please join us at the round table.
All right, so if you've been watching the Clone Wars, which I assume you have, if you've been listening to this series, you know that this episode was extremely uneventful.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed this episode. Before anyone jacks up my words. I did enjoy this episode.
I did too.
It was pretty interesting, I suppose.
Not really cringy.
No.
Most times.
Sometimes when I'm watching TV, I pause it every once in a while. I'm like, all right, is this almost over? I didn't do that with this. Wasn't worried about it. But man, is there not very much to talk about.
No. I mean, this arc, hear me out here, right? I just have a question as to why this arc was included. And now you might be thinking, well, how are you judging the arc? Because it's only been 2 episodes, and you're right. And so I'm going to reserve my judgment till the final episode of the Forced arc. But Clone Wars, even just the unaired episodes, has so many options to choose from. And I get in a normal season of the Clone Wars, you've got your episodes where, you know, C-3PO and R2 go and get fruit. And you've got your Padme episodes. And you've got your episodes where R2 and his weird frog guy go on a mission. But those are in seasons of like 20, where there's just tons of arcs. And this one, they're cutting it down. These are the final bits of the Clone Wars. The final events that we get to see in this time period, probably, on the big screen.
Yeah.
Or on any genre.
Yeah.
And I would think if I was Dave Filoni, I would choose the most awesome episodes that you could. You know, to go out truly on a bang, truly in the most Clone Wars fashion. And I think he's chosen 2 of those arcs, Bad Batch and the
Siege of Mandalore.
Siege of Mandalore. Great choices. I'm just confused as to why this made it from the first 2 episodes.
As am I. I mean, I just really struggle with seeing, you know, sometimes you see people out and about. Maybe not recently because of quarantine, but just in general, in life. Mm-hmm. You see people and they have kind of an ugly outfit on. And you think to yourself, what did they hold up when they were getting dressed today? And I was like, no, I think this looks better. I feel like that's how this arc was.
Yeah.
You know, he's holding up, like, I don't know, something kind of close to Dark Disciple, something interesting. That's cool. And this arc, and he's like, I'll go with this one. They'll like this one.
I don't want to reserve judgment because I feel like my only hypothesis as to why this arc had to be included is because it shows Ahsoka's character before the Siege of Mandalore. And so it shows how she got there. That would make sense to me. And I would understand. And you know what, Dave? I'd even get it.
Yeah.
And I'd agree with you. I'd say you made the right call. But judging off these first 2 episodes, just nothing happens. It's not really like they're bad episodes. They're just nothing goes on. I mean, it doesn't even really develop Ahsoka.
You're right. What's in it these 2 episodes that they couldn't put in 5 minutes for the I mean,
Yeah.
I guess introducing the characters, but why couldn't they just have this an arc that has more depth to it, more action to it, and then just cut this first 2 episodes into 5 minutes?
I know.
Hi, we're the Martinez sisters. You want to go on a spice run with us?
Sure.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. That's all you needed to say.
You didn't need the... I think it doesn't help that I just don't like the Martinez sisters.
They are very unlikable.
Yeah. No, you're right. And they remind me a lot of Rose Tico.
I agree.
And it's not like I want to hate them. I'm not going in there thinking, I want to hate these people. But they just don't have any likable character traits, really. I mean, it kills me because it could have been so interesting with these 2. They are living in the underworld of Coruscant. You know, doing odd jobs, just trying to survive. It could have shown a real great dichotomy to Ahsoka, who has lived up on the surface in her fancy Jedi temple. I mean, basically, I know Jedi's didn't really live lavish lifestyles, but they were fed and they had a place to sleep and a place to train and ships to fly, and they had a great life. Really, I mean, not a great life, but I mean, not underworld Coruscant life. And I think that it could have really showed a difference between how Ahsoka was brought up and how these 2 were. But I haven't really seen a difference.
Yeah, and I mean, if you guys listen to our Clone Wars Quickie, episode 5, we talked about how there really aren't any memorable side characters in all of the Clone Wars arcs other than like Hondo. And I feel like that's fair with this one too.
Yeah, I'm not going to
remember them. I'm going to halfway remember this arc just because Ahsoka's in it.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, there were some good parts to this episode. Some really wholesome parts. One, when they were driving past the ship, getting ready to pull them over, and Anakin's like, no, it's okay. It's nothing.
Yeah, that was good.
That was something, and did he know it was Ahsoka?
I think so.
I think so
he
too.
her.
And he knows that she's alive.
Yeah.
Which is good.
I think that was probably the best part of the episode.
Yeah. The other part was the Pikes.
Yeah, it's a cool enemy. I hope they go into them a lot more because I don't think we get enough of the Pikes.
I do too. The only part that really sticks out that I remember the Pikes from, just thinking, as shown on the show before, I don't have a great memory. That's okay. That when Darth Maul was recruiting his underworld army, and Count Dooku was with the Pikes and stuff,
mm-hmm.
Great. I love the Pikes. They're interesting. They look cool. The new trailer for the episode is out. I think it's going to be more of the same. Bad.
Yeah.
I think they spoiled us in the trailer. Because I watched the trailer. I keep trying to convince my brother to watch this show. My brother loves anime. He doesn't like Clone Wars. I keep trying to convince him to watch Clone Wars. I showed him the trailer from season 7. And the one piece that gets me every time I watch this trailer is when they're sitting there and Darth Maul is like, it's all part of the plan. The plan. And then it shows Darth Maul ignite his lightsabers and Ahsoka ignites hers. That's all I can think about when I turn on Clone Wars, I'm like, is this the episode? No. And it ruins it every time. They spoiled us.
With the trailer?
Yes.
I know.
That's an all-time trailer. Period.
And you know what was just so sad about this is the only part of the trailer that even deals with these arcs at all is when Ahsoka's riding her speeder bike.
And wall
then
running.
and there's that one scene where, what was it? What's her name? I keep getting mixed up between Trace and the other one.
I don't know.
The
You're
one,
talking to the wrong guy.
I mean, she was in the trailer, but I mean that is it. That's it. So I don't know. I have hope.
I like the Pikes. They have something. They could have something.
I
Will
don't-
they?
I don't-
TBD.
I feel like this might be the arcs that are in every Clone Wars season that just suck. This one's gonna hurt a little bit more.
This is like the Jar Jar Mace arcs in season 6.
Don't say that. It's not that. It's not that.
I'm saying it's the equivalent. I'm not saying it's that bad. I'm just saying it's the equivalent. Season 6 just comes in with a heat check in the first arc.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And the last arc. And I'm hoping that's true for season 7 too.
I think it might be.
I think it will be. Because I think looking back, we were really tough on the Bad Batch.
We were. They were good.
They were. I like them. I just hate Wrecker. Beside the point, we were really tough on them. I think that'll still go down as a really good arc.
Mm-hmm.
Just in general. I think it was just because we were expecting... Again, I think we were spoiled by the trailer.
You're right. Just entirely spoiled by the trailer. We had our own expectations of what it would be, and then it wasn't exactly what I thought.
I was like, this season's going to be perfection. They figured it out. And any flaws, like, ruined. This episode sucks.
I know,
You know?
we were so hard on it.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to keep going down. I think we're a little bit too passionate about the subject matter to not be hard on the episodes.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to get to the episode where Ahsoka faces off against Darth Maul, and we're going to be like, well, it's good, but, like, I hate this, and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel like that's, like, kind of Star Wars movie vibes.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about this on the podcast before, too. Anytime I walk out of a Star Wars movie, I'm
Hype,
like...
betrayed by hype.
I have to give myself a month or more before I can give you a true opinion on this movie. Because Episode 8, my least favorite Star Wars movie, Pierce and I walked out and said, "This might be that's the best movie I've ever seen." So, again, we're obviously going to have the last episode of the Siege of Mandalore, but if it's just us blabbering about how great of an episode it was, we apologize in advance.
Yeah. The one thing I think is good about this series so far that we've done is we're going to look back at that and think, at least the first couple episodes, we were at least level-headed.
True.
We at least acted competently, It's not like we got out of the first episode of The Bad Batch and we're like, well, this is the best episode of the Clone Wars. Yeah. I mean, we actually analyzed some of the flaws. I think that's good. I think that's what we're here for. I think that's what critics should do. I don't think, as fans, we should ignore flaws. I think we should embrace them and talk about them.
Yeah.
And discuss them and what can make them better, because I think that's the most fun part about Star Wars.
I agree, because boy are there a lot of flaws, and everyone has an opinion how to fix them. And you know what they say about opinions? They're just like buttholes. Everyone has them. And you've chose to listen to ours.
And with that riveting statement, I think we're probably going to have to wrap up.
I can't top that statement.
Yeah, I mean, what a way to go out. What a way to go out. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
If you didn't, fuck off. I'm sorry. You had to cut that out.
I'm kidding. No one listens to it.
That was good.
Follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
I'll see you guys next week.